30-6. 30-6 was the score. The Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Kenny Pickett went down in this game. Matt Canada should be fired. And I think Mike Tomlin might be behind him too, because he keeps allowing this to happen. You had Steeler fans in week 2 when they went against the Cleveland Browns. They were chanting "Fire Canada." And he said he understands the passion. He didn't want to make any drastic changes. Matt Canada's terrible. He's the worst offensive play caller in the NFL. Point blank, period. I don't want to hear anybody else naming that discussion. It is Matt Canada. But the reason why I'm hot with Mike Tomlin right now, how many times have we seen this Steelers team go out and underperform and play down the competition? No disrespect to the Houston Texans, but C.J. Stroud looked like the second coming of Peyton Manning mixed with Tom Brady. This is ridiculous. How many times do we need to see this? We saw this last year when Zach Wilson went down the field and he had a phenomenal drive. When your defense is getting pieced up by Zach Wilson, that's when you know you have a problem. Years before that, we've seen this team lose to teams that they should beat because they play down the competition. They're not prepared. That's head coaching. Mike Tomlin had these guys not prepared. Now, when they go against the Cleveland Browns team or Baltimore Ravens team that's red hot, all of a sudden the defense is flying all over the place. They paid Alex Highsmith a very good contract, and I still think he's a very good player. Why is he in coverage? When he led your team in sack last season, why is he in coverage? Why does he not have his hand in the dirt going out there to go get the quarterback for the entire game? You saw that C.J. Stroud was getting the ball out quick, and he was red hot. But yet you want to have Alex Highsmith in coverage? I just don't understand. That means T.J. Watt is getting double and triple team. You're already without Cameron Hayward. They had the Houston Texans offensive line like one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And for the first couple of weeks, C.J. Stroud was getting sacked a lot. T.J. Watt last week was a game changer against the Las Vegas Raiders. He can't do that every single week, and he's the best defensive player. But when he's getting double teamed, and he's getting chip blocked by the tight end, what do you expect when you have nobody else that can come and help him? That's what Alex Highsmith is for. The defensive adjustments didn't work in this game. Nico Collins shredded his secondary just like how Brandon Ayuk did in week 1 for 168 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. That was the only guy that he was going to, was Nico Collins. Dalton Schultz did have 3 catches to 42 yards and 1 touchdown. That was it. You didn't think to just do roll coverage, just go over there and just try to double team them at all. You just let it happen. They just stood up there and just let Nico Collins shred their defense over and over again. And then they couldn't stop the run early in the game. Damon Pierce was out there running like prime Marshawn Lynch. And until later in the game, that's when they stopped him. But still, this is ridiculous. The defense did not show up today, but it's not all on them. Because now I can get into this offense. Matt Canada should be fired. I don't know how many times Steeler Nation has to say this. I don't know how many times I have to say this. He shouldn't have been on the coaching staff before the season. He should have been fired after last season. And I understand there's a segment of the audience out there where you want Kenny Pickett to be comfortable with the guy that he got coached up his rookie season. That's a horrible excuse. That is a terrible excuse. That is horrible. How many times have we seen offensive coordinators get fired after 1 year? That should have been Matt Canada, but instead he's been with this team for years, running the same broken system over and over again. But that's Mike Tomlin's standard. That's what he likes to see, because he's the same head coach that came up there to that podium after that Cleveland Browns game and said, hey, we're not going to make any drastic changes. The Steelers fans have a lot of passion. That's not passion when they're chanting "Fire Canada." That's not passion. That's a fan base losing patience, and they're telling you something, and they're trying to give you advice, a head coach, something that you should be able to see, not fans. We shouldn't have to go out there and tell you, hey, fire this guy for the team to be better. That should be your job to go out there. And he's going to come up here to the podium and say, we got to play better. Of course you do. You only put up 6 points on the board. 2 measly field goals. The best offensive player was Chris Boswell. Imagine how many times have we heard and seen that? Kenny Pickett went down in this game. They went for it on 4th and 1. I don't know why you would go out and call a pass play on 4th and 1 when Najee Harris was red hot. You could have just ran the ball up the gut. So instead, he takes a sack because his pocket awareness is terrible and he hurts his leg. Now, I do hope that he is okay. I hope Pat Fryermuth's okay. I also hope Dan Moore Jr. is okay as well. They had a lot of casualties in this game. I hope every player that gets injured is okay. I wish that on no one, because at the end of the day, they are human beings. They have a life that is way bigger than football. A lot of these people have families. But at the same time, I can be completely honest here. I've been high on Kenny Pickett. I've been singing his praises. He has played horrible in every single game this season. Terrible. He has played horrible in every game this season. Can't push the ball down the field. Can't see the field and taking unnecessary sacks. The sack that he took that took him out the game was unnecessary. Throw the ball away. And you had Najee Harris wide open in the flat towards the left. Just throw the ball, Kenny. And you can't say that he didn't see him because his body was faced that way. Just throw the ball. He was wide open before the pressure got there. But instead, he takes another stupid sack. He's done that in every single game this year. Even last week against the Raiders when he got sacked. He took a stupid sack, but everyone else was open down the field. The rare times that Matt Canada called plays where guys are getting open. The leading wide receiver in this game was not George Pickens. It was not Pat Fryermuth. It was not Calvin Austin. It was Najee Harris, who had one catch for 32 yards. And Jaylen Warren was the second leading wide receiver. Had 6 catches for 26 yards, while running backs getting more targets than guys like George Pickens and Calvin Austin III. Calvin Austin III showed you that he had deep speed last week when he had a 72-yard touchdown against the Vegas Raiders. When you throw the ball across the middle of the field, deep down the field, that's when Kenny Pickett has a lot of success. Instead, they did not do that. This Steelers team seemed like they were overhyped in the preseason and in the offseason. They've made too many moves to be in this situation. Too many. And a lot of it is coming down to coaching. It's not the players. Because the defense wouldn't have been in this situation if your offense could go in and score. The defense was gassed for the last couple plays of the game. Mike Tomlin made no adjustments at halftime. None. Because Nico Collins would have been shut out. The only adjustments they made was to give Najee Harris the football more in the second half when you were already down. You can't run yourself back into a game where you're already down such a big deficit. You have to try to throw yourself back into a game. And this team is not meant to play from behind. Kenny Pickett had 35 passing yards at halftime with a bad interception. Najee Harris had 16 rushing yards at halftime and had 71 rushing yards to end the game. So Najee Harris played better because Matt Canada finally opened his eyes and said, hey, let's stop doing toss and sweep plays with a power back. Let's run them up the middle. But I am disappointed in the defense today. TJ Watt was not able to go back there and end a game with a sack. They would have desperately needed that. And it's sad because when TJ Watt does not have a great game, this team can't win games. When he's not being a part of the Avengers and he just can't go out there and just bull rush a tackle straight into the quarterback, they don't know how to win football games. The defense prides themselves off of TJ Watt, and it seems like the entire team does as well. This offense has to play better, but I don't know. I hope Kenny Pickett is not out long term because I understand Kenny Pickett's been playing horrible lately. Mitch Trubisky's no better. Matter of fact, he's worse. It's a reason why they brought in Kenny Pickett, besides him being a first-round pick. If Mitch Trubisky is the starting quarterback for the next couple of weeks, every single game is going to be an L because he's that terrible. Kenny Pickett threw 1 interception. Mitch Trubisky messed around and threw 3 or 4. He is that terrible. The entire offensive system is bad. Matt Canada should be fired. And if Matt Canada is not fired by Monday or Tuesday, this team isn't going to go anywhere. And the problem that this team has, and I'm fully aware of this, if they fire Matt Canada, they're going to promote within. And guess where they got Matt Canada from? Within. You would think a team that has offensive difficulties would say, you know what, let's go outside our organization, try to hire someone else. Instead, they don't do that. Their standard is to hire within because that's the Mike Tomlin way. And the Mike Tomlin way got this team beat 30-6 to a Houston Texans team that is not on the same pace as the Steelers, not talent-wise. And no disrespect towards them, they came out with a huge win. But this was a terrible game for the Steelers, and they're in a terrible situation because their perennial, quote unquote, franchise quarterback may be out long term with a knee injury. I hope that's not the case. You're also dealing with a lot of injuries as well in Deontay Johnson, and it seems like Pat Freiermuth as well. So right now, the Steelers are not in a good situation. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Steelers team. You're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. It's tough being a Steelers fan. Peace.